Hello, everybody. Welcome to Mouse Cheers.
Cheers.
Did you almost not drink?
I'm still learning. I went heavy with the pour. Well, when I was pouring,
You're still learning to cheers.
when I was pouring, I was standing and I wasn't looking at the side of the glass. Went too heavy. My bad.
I don't know if they can see it on the thing, but if you can,
Probably.
hold on. This is Andrew's drink, which is like incredibly high. This is mine, and then John.
It's because I never finish mine.
Valid, but I always drink at least two.
Oh, true.
So we had. My bad.
No, Paul's like, I always drink 2 or 3. It's like, the drinks are kind of for show.
Yeah, we went over that earlier today.
He's just like, I'm going to drink a bunch and get drunk.
John says to me, I think it was like within conversation, but he just comes out of nowhere and he's just like, yeah, the drinks are more for show. I'm like, oh yeah, my bad.
So his reality is I don't really drink. If you couldn't tell, I don't finish my drinks.
I enjoy a good whiskey from time to time.
I
don't necessarily drink to get drunk, but I enjoy the taste.
Yeah.
I like sampling.
We had a little.
What does sampling mean for Andrew? He gets like 10 drinks.
One of the few episodes I've seen that
Yeah.
I'm not in.
Yeah, we're like, you seen any? He's like, nah.
I've seen at least 4 now.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
4 that you're in?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a little Friendsgiving today.
Yeah, we did. Oh,
So-
Paul's back,
A
by
nice
the way.
meal.
Oh, by the way, I'm back. Yeah.
Paul, welcome back.
Welcome back,
We
Paul.
had
Thank
a
you.
nice meal today with Paul, our other brother Josh, and then some spouses. Ariel was there and whatnot. Josh's wife was there, and
Wine.
cooked plenty of wine. Cooked for all. Cooked by John. Thank you,
Yes.
John. Thank
What
you.
time
John.
did you get up today, John?
What time did you get up today?
6?
6 a.m.
Yeah.
Eastern Standard
Well,
Time
that's
for our
kind of-
fans on the West Coast.
Yeah. Well, the West Coast has a 6
Right.
a.m. too.
Yeah, but I said it's 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah. It
Oh,
makes
so-
no difference to anybody.
Yeah, so it'd still be 6 for the. No, it'd be. I don't know. I can't do the math.
Okay, yeah, like today when I woke up at 6, it wasn't 6 on the West Coast, but anybody on the West Coast listening, all our West Coast listeners, it doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, you got up at 6? I do that sometimes,
Yeah, I realized that was a fail. When
So
as soon as-
ultimately, it's no big deal. The real question is, did you start cooking immediately?
I started cooking around 7. Ariel helped. Well, Ariel made the apple crisp the night before.
Ooh, then that was good.
It was good.
It
was really
Went fast. Went fast.
Let's talk real quick. I feel like we
Yeah.
have time. Let's talk about the dinner. So John made,
Yeah.
it's Friendsgiving, so he made a turkey.
Yeah.
Made excellent mashed potatoes. Homemade gravy.
Keep
It
up
looked
good-
seemed like homemade gravy,
It
right?
was 100% homemade
Homemade gravy, which was great. And I think the hit, at least for me and Josh, I don't know about you guys, that broccoli au gratin
Broccoli
was
cheddar
incredible. Broccoli
gratin.
cheddar gratin.
That was really
It
good.
was so good.
So
It
I
was
think
crispy on top.
passed on
Ariel made that, so I can say that was awesome.
Bobby Flay would be proud.
Passed on it. You
Yeah.
know what my
Bobby
You know what my plate consisted of? You
What?
know what my
Oh.
plate
I
consisted
saw it.
of?
I know what it was.
turkey and 2 rolls.
Turkey. I went back to turkey 2 rolls to start. Then I went back, got more turkey, 1 more roll.
So turkey and 3 rolls.
I'm sorry. Why didn't you have the broccoli? Oh, you don't like broccoli.
I don't brock al grat. More like al gross. am
What's
I
wrong
right?
with the mashed potatoes for you?
They're
is
too potatoey, Paul.
You eat French fries.
Paul, I'm not
Oh.
going to have this French
This
fry
is the
conversation
whole.
with you
It's
again.
the whole steak fry thing again. He doesn't like the steak fries because a great steak fry you can suck out the potato.
Can we
That's
please have the same conversation as the last time you were here about French
There
fries?
was so many questions about it.
Yeah.
So many questions, but you know what? It's not what we're talking about.
It's
today.
not. What are we talking about today?
Dude, we are you are back strictly because we said you had a story to tell about the DVC.
And
well,
damn, you're
no,
gonna
about
tell.
a timeshare. So this is going to be our DVC episode because why not? I'm a DVC member. Paul's an honorary DVC member.
Not technically not anymore.
I know, that's why I say you're honorary.
Well, I was a member. I was stripped by my status. by my.
So me and Ariel are DVC members. Paul used to be like an honorary, and Andrew has some stories regarding DVC. Plus, Paul has a timeshare story that is fire. I hope you remember everything.
Yeah,
'Cause
you know
you
what?
said-
I almost wasn't gonna say it, but it's been years. So sometimes you win some things in a divorce and you lose some. And I lost the DVC.
That's okay because you could get it if you wanted to.
Oh yeah. I might get one at some point.
Yeah.
I always think about it, but if the only reason I'm not sure about it is because I'm planning to move down to Orlando. So.
Understood. And what I see is when I visit, when I have those DVC meetings, and I too want to move down there one day. I am DVC, but I feel I'll still use the DVC because. So when I got DVC, the minimum amount of points that you needed to get DVC was 75 points. Now, different points will get you different days at different hotels for a different amount of points, and it costs a different amount for what you do. But 75 will basically get you about 4 or 5 days at like your home resort.
Solid week.
Yeah. Now the minimum is 100. Yes, you
Raise
can't do
that
75.
minimum.
Yeah. A lot of people like my guy Tony at DVC. That's my guy.
Cheers
Is he
to
still
Tony.
there?
Cheers to Tony. He's here.
He's still the guy you talked to?
Yeah, I talked to him last trip.
Oh, my God.
Like a month ago. I'm like, hey, Tony.
We'll obviously talk about that experience if we're talking about DVC because that was a funny time too. But
Yeah. But when I was at Disney last month, somebody's like, the DVC guy's like, hey. I'm like, hey, guys. He's like, hey, so are you DVC members? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right, so how many points you got? And he started asking me like he's trying to do the sales thing. And I'm fine. That's fine because I'm not against getting more points one day. But he's like, do you have anybody? Like, I'll if you need anything, I'm good for you. I'm like, okay, well, I think I got a guy. He's like, all right, here's my card. If you need anything, you call me. And I'm like, okay, well, we have this guy, Tony. He's like, oh, no, Tony's your guy. And then he like backed off. It was very funny.
like, does it seem like he knew which Tony you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's
I said
funny.
Tony, and then I think he said Tony, and then the last name, and he's like, "Oh, that's your guy. That's your guy. You're good." I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'll
awesome.
keep your card." And I don't know.
Tony, he's like another.
He's like this calm guy.
No, but like our guy from Polynesian.
Oh yeah, like Maurice.
Yeah, Tony and Maurice. We see him all the time.
Cheers to Maurice.
Cheers
to Maurice. He always comes back.
Happy retirement, Maurice.
Happy
retirement,
Well.
cousin.
Maurice.
See, if you want to get John to drink, you just got to talk about Maurice.
The only
You
reason
just got to keep cheersing.
The only reason to go to one of these DVC meetings other than to see Tony is to get the free 9 a.m. ice cream.
See, I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but I know why.
I am, but I'm going to tell the full story a little later.
All right.
But let me just start off by saying, you go there, you go to your destination. My destination just so happened to have been, I think, maybe Saratoga. I don't really remember.
I think
I went with.
You didn't come with me, right? We went to 2 separate places.
So all right. Well,
because I went to Boardwalk.
Let's get into this. So
I'm gonna get cozy.
Paul and I were in Disney World together, and we had the grand idea to do the DVC meeting, right? So it wouldn't take very long. It was early in the morning. It was a down day and whatnot. And what had happened?
They always get you on a down day.
They always
get you on
and
the down day.
And then your down day is wasted.
At the end, I was very upset. I was like,
Yeah.
this was not a down day.
That's
And-
when they got rid of American Idol. They needed something to take care of your down
Right,
day.
yeah. So
when you feel all cool going backstage, you're like, oh, the bus.
Yeah.
Like you go to the backstage.
And so they reel you in, right, with the idea that, because I know some others that have done this, and you get some free ice cream afterwards, and then some people get gift cards and whatnot. So we were like, oh, okay. So we're gonna do this. Same booth. We made our reservations for.
Mm-hmm.
Same booth. Paul was chatting up the guy a little bit. I just did my thing and was out. We got separated. Didn't see that one coming. I thought we were going to go to the same place. We got separated. He went one way. I went the other, right? I think it was Saratoga. I don't remember.
I think it probably was. The other place would be Old Key West. And if you don't remember,
And
going
you went
No,
to
we went to
He
Boardwalk.
went to Boardwalk.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to two different places.
We were
completely different places.
different
Oh,
places.
Really?
And then
I thought you meant like two different areas.
So
of the-
I was texting Paul during this time because it was around the same time. I thought we were going to be together. I was texting him. I was like, where you at? He was like, I'm at the boardwalk. I was like, dude, I'm like the opposite direction. So anyway, just from my side of the story, and then I would love to hear your side of the story.
Yeah.
So this is my side of that story. I pull into the DVC van pulls up. You know, they pick you up. You know, you, Andrew? Yes. Get in the van. All right. This is drive me to Saratoga, right? And then I go into this room, sit down in the meeting, and all the while I'm feeling like just the worst person. Because here's the thing. I'm in it for the gift card.
no shame.
We all are.
We all are, aren't we?
At least part of us are all in it for the gift card.
If you're not getting DVC, you're there for the gift card.
Right. 9 a.m., sitting through the thing, and it was one of those business as usual for this guy.
Yeah.
Going through, I don't remember his name. Good guy, whatever. I don't know.
Did he sell you hard? Did he sell you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
salesman.
really?
Yep. And it was one of those, so the person I was with, it was one of those, whenever she would talk, he'd batten down. He'd be like, well, hold on, why did you say this? And then whenever I would talk, he'd be like, okay, all right. So then my next pitch is, you know, so it's like I kept on nudging her. I was like, don't say anything. Because he's fighting you, he's not fighting me. Right. So I was kind of like, don't say anything anymore. And so he was like, telling me his life story. I need if I'm going on vacation, I got little kiddos, I need a pool, the water slide and all this. And I was, no, it's not really my thing. But let me tell you, I'll take your card. I'll think about it. Thanks a whole lot. Take his card, walk out, get my free ice cream, 9 a.m.
Nice.
And
by the way, 9 a.m. on a down day, you want to sleep in.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
No. Had just a busy day, 4 park days.
Yeah, so getting up, that's a sacrifice.
Busy vacation already, a sacrifice. And if I'm correct, we went to Not So Scary after this. So this was not a down day.
Oh, it wasn't a down day. It was a down morning.
It was a down morning that got taken from us because then we went to Not So Scary.
We did. He's absolutely correct.
It was a Halloween party night.
Because we were focusing on the time, because I kept saying, I'm like, I want to relax a little bit before we get to the... But we went into Not So Scary at like... Could we get that one back then? Did
I think it was like
annual
2.
pass?
Well, maybe 4.
Well, it's 1 when you have the
4.
annual pass, and it's 4
2.
for anyone else.
Yeah, we got in at 4.
Okay.
4?
Yeah. So
Is
anyway,
it 4 when you have the annual pass?
It's 4.
Oh, okay.
4.
Because it starts at 7, but you can get in at 4 with... No, you can get it with the Halloween party. You can get in as early as
It's
4.
With
But
an
7
annual
is when the
pass.
event starts.
But with an annual pass, you can get in as early as 1.
As 1 or 2.
It's one of those 2.
Okay. You can get in
we've done it
earlier.
only once, because usually we have an annual pass, so it doesn't matter, you know. But
Right.
you just you can bring your rest of your party in at like 1 or 2 or whatever.
Got it.
Yeah.
So I'm eating my 9 a.m. ice cream, and I say to the lady, I go, she's like, can I just get your name and all this? And then I go, hey, they told me I was going to get a gift card. They didn't. You see, this was a lie. And she was like, oh, we don't really do that. Who told you that? I was like,
Be like Jeff.
I was like, yeah, my DVC guy, he's, I don't know, bald. I said that too. I didn't remember his name. I was like, I don't remember his name. He's bald. Animal Kingdom, you know, one of those. And she was like,
oh my God.
she was like, how much did he say it was? $50. She was like, let me make a couple calls. Gets on the phone. You know, blah, 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 blah. All right, well, we don't know what happened there, but this is not correct information. For your inconvenience, we're going to give you 3 extra fast passes. They didn't end up working.
What?
They didn't end up
I
working.
remember that.
The fast passes didn't end up working, but like I would scan my Magic Band and it wouldn't work, and then I'd be like, no, see, I have it. Like it came up on my Disney Experience, and they saw it. They were like, oh yeah, okay, I guess just go.
Oh,
Like it didn't work, but they saw it.
Jeez.
Yeah. So that was an odd day.
That is
so
very
weird.
odd.
Meanwhile, Paul, same time, going in the different direction, going to Boardwalk.
Yeah.
Tell me what your side was.
I just want to say this before I forget, but I do remember when he was finishing and he was saying he was texting me. He was going back and forth with the person for a while because I remember I kept texting him. I'm like, no, the person told you this. Tell them they owe you. And he's like, okay, I'll tell them that. And then I go, tell them that your friends just got gift cards. He's like, okay, I'll tell them.
Did you?
And we were texting back and forth for a while.
Yeah, it was a thing. It
was like a good.
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't like an hour, but for maybe 10 minutes, he kept going back and forth with them, texting me and going back.
Yeah,
Damn.
it was, and like she was on the phone with people. Like it was a thing.
What?
Yeah.
So we got to the place and I was the same as Andrew. I'm like, where's Andrew? Like, where'd his bus go? And we go to Boardwalk. I'm pretty sure it's Boardwalk because I've walked when you walk by the trail. If you go the walking trail from Hollywood to Epcot and you walk by the Boardwalk and all that, I swear that's where I remember it was like right there because it looks so different. It doesn't look like a resort from that side. I'm pretty sure that's where we were. And I remember we were in there and they're doing the whole spiel. Our guy wasn't too like he didn't push a lot. He knew.
I never got I was surprised when you said your guy was pushy because
I've
never had
a
a pushy person.
No, ours was just kind of like, let me just tell you the whole spiel. He goes through it and he's like, yeah, now you can just decide.
Dude, the same with me.
Either way.
The one time that I went that I didn't get it, the guy was like, and I was asking him questions. I'm like, well, what if I enjoy going to different resorts like Caribbean Beach or this or that or this or that? If I have DVC, I only have one home place. Like, what if I like going to the different ones? And he just said to me, he's like, hey, this isn't for everybody. It might not be for you. So he was like not pushy. So,
They get plenty of people to buy those. So, yeah. So
right.
He's doing his spiel. He's going through it. I'm like I am at all times when someone's trying to sell me something and I'm super into it. I'm like, all right, that sounds like a great idea. And
which we'll find out so soon with the timeshare story.
Yeah. And then I remember, contrary to what Andrew said when we finished, they were like, oh, something, ice cream. I'm like, it's 9 a.m. I was like, I have no desire for ice cream right now.
I went right into that ice cream.
I think
bar.
I took a free water bottle and that was it. And
I mean, dude, if there was free ice cream, I always go for it.
Yeah.
Even if it's inappropriate.
And then afterwards, they're like, all right, where are you staying? And I think we were at Coronado because I like to stay it was definitely Coronado because you came and went to the pool one day.
Mm-hmm.
You visited us. So we're staying at Coronado and they gave us...
Which, I'm sorry to cut you off, just really quick. Which you're not supposed to do, by the way. You're not supposed to go to other hotels' pool. And with this trip, I had my car because we drove down. I drove right in. They let me in. I went right to the pool. No one said anything.
As a DVC member, you are able to go to other DVC resorts pools.
I am not.
Oh,
as a regular person, you're not supposed to. But you know what? How you gonna know?
No,
well, they're not gonna know.
Nobody stopped.
I'll tell you right here. Here's the trick for the master. If you don't want to pay for parking and you live in Florida, go park at Disney Springs and hop on a bus. There's no way for them to know if you have.
True.
John.
True.
They have
no. I'm sorry. Disney Springs doesn't have any buses to the parks.
Yeah, you get on a park to the resort, and they take the resort bus.
Yeah, I guess.
You just plan the resort that's closest to the park you want to go to.
Screw that. At that point, just pay for parking.
Right.
But John, each resort has the gates that come down. Every time, and you have to do your magic band to have the gate come up. If you're driving your car, there's
usually a guy there.
There's usually a guy there. And if you're not a resident of that resort, you either are turned away or whatever. What do you mean,
No, you
so,
say
you
hey, I have a dining res, or I do the,
Yeah.
You have to show the dining reservation.
I don't know. I've seen Uber drivers come in and just be like, I'm picking someone up, and they just drive straight in. Or I'm dropping someone off, and they drive straight in with no questions.
I suppose. Well, what
I've been turned away before.
What I'm getting at, though, is... They have that at every resort.
Yeah.
While Paul was staying at Coronado, the gate was always up. I just went right in.
Oh, that I didn't know. The gate
was
up?
always up.
What?
Interesting.
Always up.
Good.
Yep.
Wow.
Okay, well,
so
we now know the most unsafe resort.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, sorry to cut you off.
So you got in the pool.
No, you're good.
I got in that pool. Great pool, by the way.
Excellent pool.
The Mayan pyramid.
It's my favorite pool. I don't know.
Great
I feel like you have a different one.
What did I say? What did I say in
we
the pool?
talked about pools.
Don't you like all-star music?
No. Oh, did I say? No.
You
I
like
shouted
the
out because I love the
Caballeros.
Three Caballeros.
Yeah.
But I want to say and I don't want to be a hypocrite because I totally said it on an earlier podcast, but I think Coronado Pool is my fave.
If it is, I believe you. It's a great pool.
Great
Did
pool.
I say that?
I don't
I have
remember.
to go back and watch.
Well,
now.
you stayed at Saratoga.
Roll
I like
back
theirs
the
a lot
tapes.
too. Smaller,
Yeah,
smaller,
and,
but nice.
and Old Key West, but I never went to the main pool at Old Key West. It was always like the pool next to where I was staying.
And that's the
Yeah.
pool where I saw the little frog. So anyway,
oh, yeah, that's
sorry to cut you off. Please continue.
Yeah. So I mean, after the whole spiel, they were like, "Where are you staying?" I'm like, "Coronado," and I think it was $25 a day.
Which I think he got the gift card because he was staying in
$25
Coronado and I was staying in movies.
No, I think it was $50 per person.
maybe.
Yeah, it was $50 a person. I think.
you
So
were
we got
staying
$100 in gift cards. It was a $100 gift card.
Oh man!
Some bullshit.
So you were staying in Coronado, a moderate.
Yep.
You were staying in
a value.
movies
All-Stars.
of value. So
No,
you
was
didn't
it-
get a gift card, and you did.
You
That's
sure it
what-
wasn't sports?
I've never stayed in sports.
You definitely did. The one time I stayed with you, you stayed in sports.
Paul, I've never stayed in sports.
You stayed in sports.
Listen-
we walked out. You had that
I
crappy
can no
pool.
no. I can show you. Hold on. I can even show you a
in
picture.
Sports. Yeah, I want to see the picture.
I
of the
can
sports.
show you a pic.
Wait for this. Wait for this.
I
y'all.
can't even.
frantic.
Oh,
Wait
I
for
can't
this.
even
He's
tell.
frantically
'Cause he
thumbing through his-
knows.
He's like
'Cause-
locked himself out. What
'Cause
an
he knows.
idiot.
Because he knows he
Paul,
stayed in sports.
I can tell you exactly where I stayed in the Dalmatian part of the movies.
You stayed in the football part of sports.
No.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
Here's what.
Look at
no,
how he's questioning it.
Here's what you're
You
thinking about.
stayed in sports?
Paul, no, here's what he's thinking about. I stayed in the Dalmatian.
It's like a tennis court.
It's a hockey rink.
Yes, that's it.
It's football. It's a
It's-
hockey rink.
It's a hockey rink. It's
the
the secondary
Mighty Ducks.
Mighty Ducks secondary pool in movies. You know
Mighty
this,
Ducks
John.
at
He's right.
movies.
That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It was a
yeah.
Mighty Ducks pool.
Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna motion for that to be part
I'm
of
so
sports.
hot right now.
I don't know why if they have a movies, why even include Mighty Ducks if you have all-star sports right over there.
I'd like to motion it becomes part of sports.
We'd
I'd
like to motion.
I like to motion. You're an idiot.
I'm glad he knew what I was talking about though, because I would have lost my mind if I couldn't figure that out.
Anyway, continue.
I mean, that was it. I got gift cards and I was pretty happy, and Andrew was
Nice.
pretty upset the whole day.
Nice, great story. That's
and then,
fantastic.
then we went to Mickey's
I-
Halloween and got candy.
Nice,
Very hot that day.
You know,
Oh my
they
God,
used
it was
to
so
send,
hot. It was so hot that night. It was an August trip, and
Yeah.
it was hot. It
Yeah.
was 9
Really?
p.m. 92 degrees, something.
Yeah, not
It was
great.
bad.
I was wearing
Jeez.
long pants and gloves, but we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
Long
I know
pants.
everyone, there's people who live in Florida, and it's not that. For us coming from the north, that was hot. For nighttime, it gets cold up here at night.
I like
What's
a
it
ni-
in,
I like a nice warm night.
I love a warm night. Love.
Give me a 60-degree weather night with a chill where I can throw a flannel or a sweatshirt on, pop a fire going.
and you'll get plenty of those in Florida.
Now,
Oh, yeah.
Now
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't look great in a flannel, because I do. But I like a nice warm night.
I've never seen him in a flannel
I don't think he owns a flannel.
in my life.
He doesn't
Have you
own
ever
a flannel.
worn a flannel? Ever?
I would look good in a flannel.
Have you ever worn a flannel? That I was gonna say that's not part of a show, but no. Have you ever worn a flannel?
Even
Period.
in part of a show.
Yeah, this guy's never worn
Of
a
the
flannel.
three of us, I've worn a flannel more this year than the two of you probably have in your lifetimes. Now, John has worn flannels.
I
look
have,
good,
but
but
I
not
agree
often.
with you.
Yeah.
I like a
not
nice sweatshirt.
And
Sure.
well, I don't know if I guess I never know if you consider flannels in the shirt that looks like a flannel. Because remember, Bat Boy, that shirt looked like a flannel.
Yeah, that's actually what I was thinking
I'm
about.
counting that.
Let's talk
yeah.
about Bat Boy in the pod.
Dude.
We got to talk about
Yeah.
Bat Boy.
Bat Boy. So
Give us
funny.
some pan, John. Inside joke.
Yeah. They used to give a gift card if you what do you call it?
Room service. If you
declined room service.
They don't do that anymore?
And it used to
No.
And they do they?
Well, they don't do it for DVCs, first of all.
That's what I.
But they also don't do it for anyone else either.
That was a baller
Okay.
deal. They used to give you $10 for every night you were staying.
Yeah, so you get like some serious.
You know what they do now? Now they go, hey, do you want room service or no? And you can say no, and you don't get anything
Yeah,
for it.
yeah,
It's all an option now.
yeah. So that's too
It's
bad.
actually, do you want room service? And it'll be like every second or third. It's every third day, or do you not want it at all? Like those are the options.
wow.
Interesting.
So
I just deny it anyways. I just don't feel like dealing with it. I'm just like, whatever.
yeah.
I'll make my bed.
So fun fact, when I went to the DVC with you, the meeting with you, I didn't plan on getting DVC. I don't want to say I was I don't want to say I was sold or duped because I'm happy I have it. But
well, that's Tony for you.
Yeah, I guess suppose so. I guess
Cheers
that's the
to
mark
Tony.
of a good salesman. They're not pushy, and then cheers to Tony. But they're not pushy. They let you come to the conclusion on your own because they know that the product they're selling is a hot commodity, right? So me and Ariel had talked about it a bunch. Like, hey, one of these years maybe we should get it. But until then, we'd like go for the the free
Ariel
ice cream.
and I.
Wow. Okay. Until then. How could he say that after that flannel comment? But
I'll allow it.
Ariel and I would go for the free ice cream for the gift card. But and then we went. We're like, hey, you know what? We don't have it. Might as well and we took like tours of rooms and stuff and whatever. But it's almost like 75 points. We get 75 points. What if we want to stay, because we used to do 2-week trips. It's like, okay, your points, your points run out. We're paying for the points. So what do we do after that? And Tony, he's just like, the guy, he's just like, he's so calm. He just talks like this. And I'm like, Tony, what if, my points run out? I want to stay. He's like, well, okay, let me. And he starts drawing on a notebook. He's like, all right, so this week I want to stay here. I'm paying cash. Then I'm paying my DVC. And in my head, I'm like, oh, it makes so much sense. I just pay cash. I'm just like, I can stay as long as I want.
As you're talking about Tony, I'm kind of remembering the way he had a way that he talked, and it was like, and you talked to him recently. I haven't talked to him in years.
Yeah.
But I feel like I remember him saying things like, when someone didn't want to get it, he was like,
it's if you have any inkling that you don't want to get it, don't get it.
But it was like, I don't like saying names, but it was like, if you, he had kind of like an accent. He was like, if you have any reserves and you don't want to get it, don't do it.
Yeah.
He's like, but if you think, and it was that but that gets you. He's like, but if you think that this is something, I don't know, I feel bad 'cause I'm probably doing the wrong accent, but he's like, something you want, you should do it. I'm like, he's right.
Yeah.
He's right.
No, and that's the thing where the couple if any part of you thinks that you can't do it or don't want to do it, then it's not the right time to do it. But or whatever he said, and that's when the couple goes, all right, excuse us for a moment,
And that's what we did.
and you come back. All right, we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I mean that I caused some fights that day.
It's all good.
There's nothing worse than the.
I'm not gonna say cause fights, but
Yeah, fights
it
happen.
led to fights.
There's nothing worse than the walk of shame into the room. Like if you go, all right, quick sidebar, in situations like that, and you're away from the salesman, and you're not gonna get it, like from the start, like me, like in my story.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing worse than the walk of shame back into the room after having the conversation. Yeah, we're just pretending to talk about it right now.
I think that's part of their pitch, because it's like I'm back there and I'm like, they're expecting us to do this. We have to at this point.
Right.
People are expecting
I suppose,
things from
but
us.
I can, with Disney, I have a weak spot, but I could put my foot down. Like in Cancun, we did the same thing. Like, oh, you get this dinner by the ocean. If all you got to do is just do this little 2-hour tour or whatever. And we did it, and the guy's sitting down, and he gives us this really expensive thing. We're like, yeah, we're not doing that. And then he talks it down, and then he finally gets to what he's actually trying to sell us. And we're like, yeah, well, I'm not gonna come here ever again. So, no, thank you. And plus, I'm a Disney Vacation Club member, and I already have a timeshare. Disney doesn't call it a timeshare; it's a timeshare. But I'm a DVC member. And then the guy is like, "What if I paid off your Disney Vacation Club member right now, and you came with us?" And I said, "No."
I would have been like, yeah, do it.
Why?
Pay it off.
No. They would buy it out.
Huh?
Oh, like you wouldn't have
No, they
theirs.
would buy it out.
I thought you meant he's just going to be like, I'll pay off yours and...
I was about to say that's the stupidest thing to pay off. Get rid of your Disney.
No, I wouldn't
timeshare to
get
go
rid
to-
of it. I thought he was just paying it off.
No. He was basically saying, I'll buy that from you, and you come with us. I'm like,
Sorry, I finished most of this.
no, it's all good. But I'm like, no. And he's like, thank you for being honest. And then they like started getting like rude with me. I'm like, I'm not doing it because Disney, I had a soft spot. I'm always going to go to Disney. Cancun, like, hey, they just didn't know me. They didn't know how close to my heart Disney was. But they're like, I'll buy that from you and you come with us. I'm like, nope.
I think it's valid to point out too that it's not like we went to one vacation club and bought. I don't know about you. I'm sure you've been to a ton. I know you and me went to at least 2 together because there was the one when you bought.
I think I've been to like 3
and there was the one with Joe. Remember we all went in that one when we went behind.
Oh, maybe there's more than I don't remember.
The one when we went to Tower of Terror behind the scenes. Remember that? That was like with Joe Fontaine. And
no.
Cheers to Joe. He was on the podcast.
Yeah, cheers to Joe. I wasn't. Oh, yeah.
That was the first
I'm sorry.
time we did it. So I've gone at least 3 because it was that one, this one, and then the one we bought.
And me and Ariel
probably
and
went
I.
another time. So we probably went 3 times. It was third time's a charm, I guess. Or Tony's a charm.
No, because we went a couple
Tony's
times.
the champ.
Ariel and I went, and then the 4 of us had gone.
So you might have gone 4 times.
I think I've been 4 times.
Yeah.
And Ariel and I went through the tour, like at the boardwalk, like the sample room that you could just walk through. We've walked through that too. So we like did our homework enough, and we did it when the time was right for us.
Yeah. I think we might have gone back when it was just the 2 of us one time too. I don't know, but I know we went a lot because we used to go just for the gift cards.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
to, not to be rude, but gift cards, good stuff.
But at the same time, it led to
$20 is $20.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's more than
And
20
what's your
per
time?
person.
Yeah, what's your time worth? But the thing is, and to put a little bit of like information in this for people who might be watching, like oh, DVC, what is it worth it? I would say if you go every year, or even if you go every other year, I think that it is worth it because you're locked into a price. The point value goes up and down, but you're always paying the same price for the points. So like the boardwalk might be like 15 points a night, or on a very busy day, it'll be 20 points a night, or on a real light day, it'll be like 9 points a night. So like the point fluctuates, but you're locked into a payment. And then after 8 to 10 years, whatever, unless you pay cash for it, you're paid off. It's like a mini car loan, and then the points are good for 50 years. So you have the points for 50 years. Once that 10 years is done, you're done paying for them, you have 40 years of quote-unquote free stays at your home resort, and it's always a deluxe resort. If you go a lot, I think it's worth it.
Yeah, and the other trick is, too, that they don't tell you, and we found this out, is you can buy the 50-year brand-new points that are going to cost a certain amount, or you can buy points. It's basically someone who's selling their room.
They sold them back to Disney.
Yeah, sold them back to Disney.
Heavy
You
pour.
could buy those. They're cheaper because you can get an older resort.
Yep.
So if you're going to buy, right now they're probably still selling Riviera. I think they still sell Wilderness Lodge, like the newest resorts. But if you were to, you have to ask them. You could be like, hey, are you selling points for Saratoga
or Old Key
Springs?
West.
They might be opposed to, let's say, I'm just going to make up numbers, but let's say it's $50 a point for Riviera. Maybe it's $22 a point for Saratoga. And they'll be like, okay, it's $22, but I'm just making up numbers, but it'll last you 37 years. And I remember when we sat there, I'm like, guys, 37 years from now, I'm going to be 67. I was like, at that point, I can decide if I need. I was like, that's more than I've lived already.
Yeah.
Left.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know if I care if it's 50 years. I may not even be around 50 years from now. Like, 37's great.
And that's how I thought too. Is like, and it ends up being like a cheaper experience, but you're still a DVC member,
and you can stay at any resort you want. Like, you tend to stay a lot at Old Key, but you've done other ones, right?
Old Key, we've stayed. Well, we're staying at Saratoga. Come February, we're going back.
Resort.
Yeah,
they're always cheap for some reason on points, and I love that
cheap on
resort.
points. I'd love to stay at Boardwalk.
I've
I've never stayed at Boardwalk. You said you've stayed at the beach.
The beach, I've wanted to stay at the Boardwalk. The Boardwalk's so cool.
I love the Boardwalk,
but the beach
I
resort,
literally just like we're doing
Boardwalk.
this DVC episode, basically to have a platform for you to tell your timeshare story. I need Dominic. When's Dominic home? Is he for Christmas?
He actually is coming back to Connecticut for Christmas this year.
Dude, we need to do a Boardwalk episode with Dom. Come on. That was the trip that he stayed like in the boardwalk almost the whole trip.
Oh, is that what he was doing?
Yeah, dude.
I
when
was
we
telling
were in the
that story to someone like a week or two ago. I was like, oh yeah, like we might as well tell them. But yeah,
save it for the pod though.
we'll save it for the pod.
Because
fun story about Dominic coming up.
yeah, like get him in this. Like
I'll talk to him.
I'd love the four of us to do this.
I will say, just because you mentioned beach before I forget, I'm sure there's great opinions about the holidays, and I definitely want to stay at Grand Floridian one day for like November, December time.
Yeah.
But as of right now, of all the places I've stayed, Beach Club was by far my favorite place for the holidays because it's one of the ones that does the gingerbread house.
Yeah,
But they also
Contemporary does that
have, oh my God, they sell gingerbread cookies. They
Do you
sell
gingerbread?
Oh, yeah.
ciders.
Oh,
they
yeah.
sell like alcoholic ciders. Like
Do
it's
you?
just like great.
From time to time.
Do you you gingerbread.
Yeah, sorry, I don't mean to get so excited. I just by the way, every time I'm on this,
Apparently, Paul gingerbreads.
well, you guys know I love gingerbread. It's my favorite freaking. I just brought you gingerbread muffins.
Oh yeah, you did. He did.
He did. He did.
So I got a sidebar right now because every time I'm on this podcast, I just got back from Disney. So I took a whim trip to Disney last week, just on a whim during the hurricane. I didn't know it was hurricaning.
Oh, I left during the hurricane. Yeah, you go first.
I didn't know when it was the hurricane. When I planned it, it wasn't supposed to be down there, but whatever. It's
Probably
fine.
why it was so cheap.
Anyways,
Yeah, right.
you know what's back open, and it may have been when you were there, but it wasn't when I was there in August, is that circus area in the circus tent.
Oh yeah.
Was that open when you were there in September?
In the D Springs.
No. In,
No,
in Magic Kingdom.
The circus splash zone.
No, where they sell all the snacks.
Oh yeah, that was
So
open.
that was closed when I went last time.
It was open when we were
So
there.
I went in there. They had a gingerbread. I'll send you a picture for the Instagram because I took one. They had this
Follow us on Instagram.
gingerbread Mickey head. It was a
I'm not
gingerbread
up to
Mickey
date.
head. It had a I don't know if it was white chocolate, dark chocolate, it had some sort of chocolate for like the design on it.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind, the best gingerbread cookie I've had in my life. It was this big. I spent 3 days eating it because it was huge, and didn't want to get sick. So I ate like I'd eat one ear, the other ear, and then the face, and it was so good. So I like a softer gingerbread cookie, like a more molassesy, softer one. So good, so
Same.
good.
Same.
Yeah, same.
But I mean, if you guys get back down there, I think they sell them all the time. I don't know. I saw one of my favorite TikTokers who had a picture of the same cookie, and I'm like, man, everyone's getting it. But
Yeah.
I don't TikTok.
we know, Andrew.
So, I just really quickly want to mention that your the tent you're talking about.
Yes.
Just really quickly. Just so I'm on the same page.
It has a name.
It's the place in like the what's the Kittyland? Where's Barnstormer? Where's
It's called like
Barnstormer?
Circus. something.
Storybook Circus.
It's the one in Storybook Circus.
Yeah. They have great. If you ever can't
Storybook.
find like,
What are you confused about?
Yeah, what are you confused about? It's the big.
I
he
guess
doesn't.
I'm not confused.
He doesn't know what he's talking. Do you not know what we're talking about?
The big tent, the
Big
store.
tent. Across from Dumbo,
And okay, I got
like
you.
literally across from Dumbo.
Yeah.
Also, hidden gem when you're looking for certain they sell all the Christmas stuff there too,
Okay.
but no one buys stuff there is what I've noticed. So because they go there for the snacks. So if you want like certain memorabilia, you just go in there. It's almost always stocked up still.
Got it. Good. Noted.
I mean, I don't know about time of year, but I know when I go there, it's always stocked up in there.
All right. Noted.
Speaking of, I got a new. I sent you guys a picture too. A new countdown. I like to buy the Disney 25-day countdowns for Christmas.
How many countdowns does one person really need?
None.
Well, at least
There we go.
5 because that's how many I have.
I
I
have a Halloween one,
I got 2 Halloween ones.
and you gave me one.
Oh, if we're counting those, and yeah, I have more than that. But
Yeah.
I gave you the year. I like those yearly ones. Those are cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do
It's all
It's
good.
just tough because you have
do
to
you-
do it.
And
I'd
you-
be like, yeah, you do it, and like, sorry, if you do it, and then you're like, oh, hey, it's still 19 days to Halloween, and you never like change
It's like
it.
November 25th.
Yeah.
So you change the numbers daily?
Yeah.
You're
So
a stickler?
In theory.
So
Well,
so,
I know
hold
that
on,
in
hold
theory.
on. So obviously, like if I'm not home or something, but if I'm home, I change it. But I will be honest, I only change it for the 25-dayers. I have 2 that are all year round ones, and I just can't keep up with that. I can't do every day.
That's crazy.
Why have it?
But the 25-day ones, because
I agree.
for the 25-day ones, you make it like a routine. So I open up my advent calendar, eat my chocolate, and then I change my date, and then I move on.
So you
Just
wake
morning
up,
routine.
you wipe the sleep from your eyes, you open up your advent calendar, have a piece of chocolate.
Yep. I got a Lindt truffle one this year.
Nice.
Yeah, worth it. Well, I don't know yet, but I'm sure it's going to be.
Right. You change the number. What's the next thing you do? You just woke up.
I'll probably hit the B room.
Classic. 100th episode, by the way. Bathrooms.
100th episode is going to be called Bathroom Break.
You're almost halfway to it, right?
No.
This is going to be like 43 or something.
No.
It's like 20.
This is like, yeah. So, like, it's one a week. So, we've been doing this for almost half a year.
I could have sworn I looked at them the other day and saw episode 39.
I think.
No.
I think it's time.
This will be.
It's going to be one of those episodes.
This might be episode 25 right here.
Yeah.
This one is 25.
Using my quick math. 25.
Let's see if we're right. We might be wrong.
Paul,
Let's
you
see if we're
may
right.
be right.
Paul, I think you should tell your timeshare story.
Tell the timeshare story.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
I wanted
Hold
to.
on. John has the floor. Yes, John?
I didn't know if there was something else I wanted to talk about DVC wise.
we can always come back to it too.
Okay, we can always come back.
We're talking about timeshares.
Gentlemen, I apologize. Judge not, lest ye be judged.
Is that scripture?
I'll judge. Oh, I judge hard.
That's from Scripture. Andrew,
That's from,
Andrew, you just made an ass of yourself. I just made an ass of myself. Judge lest not ye judge. Judge.
I judge less not of you guys.
It's ridiculous.
Tell the timeshare story.
All right. So
Listen.
if you ever want to watch the timeshare story, just Google my name. Apparently, it's on the website of my college.
Are we able to upload that onto Mouse Cheers?
Why would we want to?
Probably.
Oh, I mean,
Well,
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I have the
sure, we
original
can.
copy. It's my movie.
So why don't? Well. Okay. So I don't. Maybe not on Mouse Cheers, but do you have a YouTube?
Yeah, I have a YouTube.
You should post it, and then we could like. I don't know, because it's not like a Mouse Cheers thing, but it's something that we could like.
Yeah, I'll
point
try and get
to.
the original from
We
my
can
editor.
post
and
it.
Try
see.
post it, and then we'll see if we can like partner up or something.
Just so everyone knows what we're talking about, I had a film class in college, and this whole story about the here, I made a video of it, and it actually came out pretty decent.
it did come
It's
out
not
decent.
great, but
It
it's
came out
decent.
decent, but the story is just
Yeah.
so much better.
Yeah, the
It
story's
made it made me want to remake it,
Well, we
with
did
certain different things.
Yeah, I think there was so much more potential.
Here's the
I think
thing.
the coloring and everything looked great, but it was during COVID, so we couldn't only do so much. I had to film by
Yeah.
myself at my house.
No.
I had to send videos.
Let me give you my honest answer right now. The problem with it is you were following a syllabus of some sort. You had to show whatever the class was you were learning in the class at that time.
Yeah.
That's not what the timeshare story is about. We need chronological, what happened, what date, when, no straying. This strayed.
It's straight.
And we could talk about that after the story a little bit, about what we want to change, because I have ideas. But
Let's talk.
all right, listen.
All right, let me
these are
get
people
comfortable.
who've never heard this. These are people who never heard this. Go as if you're telling people who never heard this.
Honestly, you shouldn't even be getting comfortable. This is not a comfortable story.
All right, let me sit up.
Sit up.
All right.
Get angry. I'm angry.
So, this is what happened. Okay, it starts at Six Flags. Six Flags, an amusement park in the United States for all of our international listeners.
I didn't know it started at Six Flags.
Oh, you didn't know?
You didn't know it started.
Wow.
See, this is like I'm learning.
He
all
knows.
over
He
again.
knows. He knows.
Okay, maybe.
You know what? You learn something new every time you hear a story.
Oh, wait, I think I do. Okay.
Yeah. So it started off at Six Flags, and I'm walking by, and there's this booth, and it's like, oh, spin the wheel and win a trip. And I'm like, all right, I'll spin the wheel and win a trip. It was free. So I'm like, why not? What's the worst that could happen? I don't win the trip. So I spun the wheel, and it was like it lands on purple. It was all different colors. I'm colorblind, so they had to tell me that.
He is colorblind. I make fun of him all
So
the time.
then I'm like, well, what does purple mean? They go, oh, you want a trip? I'm like, oh, how convenient. So they give me all this stuff, and they're like, hey, you have to sign this, and they're like, in order to get the trip, you have to attend this meeting at this like it's like a timeshare hub in upstate Massachusetts. I'm like, all right, cool. So I signed all the stuff. And then, like, the meeting was, like, a week later. So I called a few friends of mine that I knew, and I was like, hey, so I won this thing at Six Flags. Like, is this real? And my buddy Mike,
Yeah.
So I call him, and he's like, because I knew, if anyone that we knew, I'm like, he probably has a timeshare.
Mike's the guy who ordered all the shrimp
Ordered all the shrimp
Del
and
Frisco's.
wine.
Did you
And-
talk about that on the pod?
Yeah,
we
we
talked about
did.
it. I
He was
forget.
talking to the sommelier at Del Frisco's, being like, ordering $60 bottles of wine.
That's
So
Mike.
funny.
Yeah, so Mike's like, yeah, it's a legit thing, but you have to actually go and listen. But just make sure you don't buy anything. I go, well, no worries there. I have no money. I can't
Yeah,
buy
yeah.
anything. So
Yeah,
I'm like,
this is shortly after. Like, this is in college.
oh
and
God,
stuff,
I
right?
was
This is
young.
like-
I was.
yeah.
Oh, I know exactly when this was.
This is
because
like paycheck to paycheck.
I can tell you
stuff.
exactly
Yeah.
what year it was because I know where I was living because I know where I had to hide certain things. I was
Yeah.
living in Rhode Island, and
Burrville?
so it would have been before 2015. It was 2014 because I moved to back to Connecticut in 2015.
All right.
So yeah, so I was living in Rhode Island. It was 2014. It was fall of 2014, August of 2014. So I go to this meeting, and I walk in, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm here. And they go through the whole spiel with me. You actually have to watch videos. They take you on a tour. Everything looks great. It's pretty cool. It's like, 3-bedroom condos that you can sleep in and live in all these different places, and you can trade your points in for this. I'm like, all right, awesome stuff. Don't matter to me. I'm about to get a free trip because I can't afford this timeshare. So then I sit down, and after all that, they sit you down, and they bring someone over like Tony, but a little more pushy.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they
Ain't no Tony.
sit down and they go, hey, what did you think of everything? I'm like, oh, it's all really nice. It's really cool. And they're like, do you think it's something that you would want to invest in? And I go, yeah, I would definitely want to do it. It's just not something that I'm, financially capable of currently. And he goes, well, what is it? Is it the down payment? Is it the, I actually skipped how much it was, but it was like, so they go through the whole thing. It's like a $20,000 timeshare, and they're like, it'll be a $2,000 down today. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like,
Yeah.
there's no way they're going to get me. I physically couldn't afford this if I sold
Right.
everything I own.
Yeah.
I don't have $2,000. So he's like, is it the down payment? Is it the monthly fee? Because I think with the loan, it would have been, at that point, it was like $250 or $300 a month, something like that.
The timeshare story makes me so happy.
Oh, me too.
And so I go, it's a little bit of both. Like I 100% don't have a $2,000 down payment, and I can't afford this monthly fee. And the guy's like, okay, let me go talk to my manager real quick. And he walked away. And then he comes back, and he's like, okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna knock the down payment down to $1,000, and then it's still gonna be this much money, and it's gonna be this much a month. And I go, hey, that's cool, but I still can't pay the monthly fee. And I don't have $1,000.
Yeah.
I really appreciate this. And he's like, okay. You know what? Let me go talk to my manager real quick. And he leaves. Except this time he doesn't come back. A different guy comes over. It's this big guy, sits down, and he's like, hey, Paul, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Italian guy, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm Italian too. I'm like, that's cool. And he's like, so my friend over here tells me you're really interested in this timeshare, but you just don't have the down payment. I was like, well, yeah, that's part of it. I also can't afford the monthly fee either. And he's like, no problem. What I got here for you, it's a starter timeshare, right? So this one's only going to be $10,000, and it's going to be I think it was $250 a month. And all you got to do is put down $1,000 today. And I'm like, look, man. I was like, I really appreciate it. It looks really cool. I don't have $1,000 to put down today. He goes, okay. You know what? This is what we're going to do. He's like, I got one more. I don't show this to everyone, okay? This one is a special deal.
Classic
It's
salesman.
our beginner set. It's only for people who want to get started and then move on. This one's going to be $5,900. Which was not a bad deal. It's obviously every time it gets cheaper, you get a lot less for what it is. The $5,900 was like there was like 4 days a year you could use it.
Yeah.
But it's like $5,900. all you got to do is you got to put $800 down now, and then it's this much a month. I forget the monthly price. He goes, what do you think? I go, hey, I mean, that one actually sounds pretty good. I'm like, they're wearing me down at this point. I'm like, I can definitely afford that monthly fee, but I just don't have $800 right now. Well, how much do you got?
Yeah, I love it.
Well, how much do you got?
And I had, in between the last two guys, I had called my girlfriend at the time, and she had told me not to do anything stupid. And then I checked my bank account, so I knew how much I had. So he goes, how much you got? And I go, I have $440 in my bank account. And he goes, perfect. Give me that, and then write a post-dated check for next week for the rest of the money you owe. Can you do that? And I verbatim said, I mean, I can do that. And he goes, good. Before I could finish my sentence, he goes, good. We'll set it all up. Now, I'm not good with confrontation.
Wow.
So long story short, I come walking home with a timeshare. They gave me a goodie bag. It's got a bag of chips in it, a bag of water, and a little booklet that tells you about all the places
Most
you could
expensive
stay.
bag of chips.
Yeah.
It was, yeah. $6,000 bag of chips. So then I get back to my house. I was living with my ex-girlfriend and my brother at the time. I beeline it into my brother's room. I go, hey, I need you to hide this bag because I cannot let my girlfriend see that I bought this timeshare.
So
I don't
funny.
even know if she knows that I had it to this point. Did she ever I don't think she ever found out.
I think
if
we
she
should-
watches this, she'll hear the whole story.
Yeah.
Now you
know what? If you're watching, Corey, let me know if you knew.
I really hope so.
I don't know. I think we talked about it at one point.
You should share
months
this.
later.
You should share this one on Facebook, on your Facebook.
I'll tag her and I'll tag her.
Okay.
She's gonna have to wait 45 minutes to get to her name. But
Yeah, I know.
I only called her out by name because we're like civil.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Civil's a bad word. Like we're friendish.
Yeah.
We don't
friendly.
see each other,
You're
but
fri-
yeah,
you're friendly.
yeah, we're friendly. But
This is only one quarter of the story.
yeah. Oh God, yeah. Okay. So,
go.
anyways, so I hide the bag. I do my thing. That was August. It had to be 2 weeks later or less. I get a phone call, and it's from. I pick it up. I don't know the number. I don't usually pick up numbers I don't know, especially back then when I didn't have any money and I was getting called by bill collectors every 3 days.
Yeah.
So I pick it up and I'm like, hello. And they're like, hey, this is the timeshare company. I'm not going to call them out because there's like legal things. But they're like, this is the timeshare company. They're like, hey, you need to. They said the word need. We need you to come up for a members meeting, a new members meeting. And I go, I have to come up to this? They're like, yes, all new members are coming up. We can comp you a night in one of our rooms, and then you'll do the meeting. I said, I mean, that doesn't sound too bad. They're like, what day can you come up?
Not too bad.
And they actually gave me dates. They're like, can you come up Monday? I'm like, no. They're like, well, how about Friday? I'm like, yeah, it's a little more reasonable. so I go up on Friday. So I drive up. The closest timeshare, because they had them all around the United States, was about, I want to see like 2 hours away. One of you have been up there. You've been up there, right?
I think Josh maybe.
It was a Josh?
It was
Okay.
Josh.
I knew someone's been up there.
2 hours away.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours away. So drive up, get there. I check in, get a room, and then I'm looking for something to eat. So I find this little bar down the street. They're having trivia. I love to play trivia, and they've got a nice chili. So I get some chili. I play a little game of trivia, and then I go back to my room. There's a jacuzzi tub in there. I hang out in the jacuzzi tub, and I get a good night's sleep. Wake up in the morning because it was an early morning. I come up to the front desk. I say hello. It's Paul Lucenti. I am here for my new members meeting, all confidently.
Yeah.
And the lady looks at me and she goes, "The what?" And I go, the new member meeting, the new member meeting. And she's like, "What's your name?" I'm like, "Paul Lucenti." Hold on. She looks something up. She goes, yes, you're in room 207. I don't know what it was. It was second floor. I remember that, but it was like room 2 or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. This is a little odd, but I'll head up to this room. I think they had someone escort me up, so they escort me up to the room. I sit down, and now I'm in an office that only fits one, plus the person talking to you at the desk. And I'm like, this seems like an odd place for a new members meeting.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm still pretty optimistic because I try to look on the bright side of things. Woman comes in, sits down, and she goes, "Hey, good to see you." I was like, "Hey, yeah, I'm here for the new members meeting." They're like, "Yeah, I don't know who told you that. We just noticed that you had a beginner timeshare, and we always call the people with beginner timeshares to see if they want to upgrade." I'm like, "Yeah, but I just got this 2 weeks ago." They're like, "Yeah, but we have this great new property we wanted you to see." I'm like, "All right, whatever. I'm here at this point. Show it to me." I was like, I can't afford anything else after this. So I'm like, there's no way they're gonna get me.
They can't get me this time.
There's no way they can get me at this point. So they show me this video. They show me this timeshare. It's a different timeshare. It's worth more points. Blah 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 blah. It was pretty nice. The one I had was an every other year program where you, like I said before, you only got certain days of the year. This one was also every other year, but it was like any day throughout the entire year. You could get bonus time and all this stuff. There was all these perks for it. And I'm like, all right, that's really cool. At the end of the video, she comes back and she's like, so what did you think? And I said, it looks really great. I wish it was something I could do. I just don't have the finances for something like that right now. It's like, I've got mine. I'm good, but I appreciate everything. And she's like, well, what is it about it that you don't think you can afford right now? Is it the down payment? Is it the monthly fee? And I'm like, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, we've heard this all before.
Yeah. I was like, I just finished paying off my post-dated check for my last $800, and now you're asking me for another $1,000. And actually, I'm going to tell you guys part of the story. I don't know if I ever told you. One of you may have heard it, but not everyone may have. I don't always tell this part. And I was like, it's also, I think, what was this one? It was $250 a month. I'm like, I can't afford that. Because when I was doing, I remember now it was $170. So it's a huge difference. It doesn't sound like it, but $70 is huge. So then she goes, well, why don't you apply for the RCI credit card? Because if you get the credit card, you can put your down payment on that. And if you don't get it, you regardless get 20% off the down payment. So it'd go from $1,000 to $800.
Dude, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I tell it sometimes. Andrew's heard it every time. He might have heard it before.
I think I've heard that.
So I applied for the credit card. We all knew my credit in 2014 was not great.
Not great.
So I did not get it, but I got that 20% off. Yeah. And so she's like, all right, well, you didn't get approved for the card, but
surprise.
But you can do the $800 fee, down payment. I go, look, I don't have $800. And she looks at me and she goes, well, how much do you have?
How much do you have?
I don't remember exactly at this time. It was actually less than last time. I think I had 370, around that. It was like around 3 something. I was like, I have around, let's just say 370. I was like, I have $370 in my bank right now. And she goes, okay, perfect. Give us that. And then, you have a checkbook, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, write us a post-dated check for next week.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm just like, okay. and the next thing I know, I'm walking into my house, walking into my brother Dominic's room, being like, hey, I need you to hide this bag.
Yeah. So if I could pause real quick, like in your movie that you made about this, there was a scene where you put the bag, you hide the bag. Mm-hmm. And one thing I would have said, I thought that was going to come back and become a comical thing. You know what I mean? Like after that second meeting where they did that again, you come home with another bag. I thought you were gonna put it next to the other bag in the thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think there was two reasons why. I think there was a time limit on the video. I think it had to be 3 minutes or less.
Again, it's the syllabus.
I think it was a max of 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And then the other issue was because of COVID, I could only film so many times. You know what I mean? There's so many different things I could do.
Right.
We should remake that.
Yeah, 100%. I'm all down for it.
Yeah.
With the stuff we know how to do nowadays, for sure.
Yeah.
So anyways, story's not over.
No.
Not even kind of.
So what happened next was...
It's a doozy of a story.
That was... So the first was August. By a couple of weeks later, it was September. Now, thankfully, we go a few months. We get to the end of November. It was end of November, maybe early December, and I get a call. And I pick it up, and they're like, hey, we're from so-and-so timeshares. We need you to come up for a end of the year members meeting. And this time I'm a little wiser. It's been a few months. I've been duped before.
Yeah, this is future, Paul.
So I'm on the phone.
Fool me once.
Yeah.
Fool me twice.
Fool me twice.
Fool me thrice.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
So
a little foreshadowing for you.
So anyways, they call me up and they're like, we need to come for end of the year members meeting. And I go, hey, so last time you guys called me, you told me I had to come up for a meeting and nobody knew what I was talking about. And I swear on the phone I said this. I'm like, is this really a meeting? Because, just tell me the truth. And they're like, no, this is a real thing. Everyone comes up for end of the year members meeting. It's required. I'm like, oh, it's required. Okay.
Great.
Boy.
And they're like, we can comp you a room. And I'm like, okay. They're like, what day do you want to come? Monday? And I'm like, no. I was like, I'm a human and I work on Mondays. They're like, all right, what day do you want to do? I'm like, Friday. So I came up Friday. Actually, I think I came Thursday that week, but whatever it was. Yeah. And I come up, I check into my room. I stopped by my little tavern that I like, played some trivia.
Had some chili.
Had some chili. And
your jacuzzi tub.
Went back to my room, took a little bath in the jacuzzi tub, got a good night's sleep. Woke up in the morning, walked to the front desk. Hello, Paul Lucenti. I'm here for the end of the year meeting. And she looks at me and goes, the what?
Oh,
and I go,
God.
First off, in my head, I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me, right? Someone's joking. And I look at her and I'm, I'm going to be positive. I was like, the end of the year meeting. the reason I'm here. And they're like, what's your name? I go, Paul Lucenti. Hold on. Yes, we've got you set up and they say a room, whatever it was, 30 something. I'm like, oh God, here we go. And so I go up to the room and I go, you know what? There's nothing they can do to me at this point.
Yeah.
I was like, I've seen it all. I have seen it all. But I hadn't seen this. So I go into the room and they show me a new video about RCI Platinum membership.
Oh, Platinum.
And how great RCI Platinum was and how it doubles your points. So basically, anyone who's watching this who knows timeshares, so RCI is a very big company. It's not the company I was in. That's why I'm saying their name correctly. And you can, if you're in most other companies, even maybe with vacation points, you can usually trade them to RCI and use any of their resorts around the entire world. Yeah. It's actually a really good, respectable company. I have no diss on them. So they're showing me a thing about RCI Platinum, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. And they're like, do you want to join this program? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, what's the deal with this program? They go, oh, well, let me look at your timeshare. I don't think I've ever told you guys this whole story either. They're like, to get RCI Platinum, you actually need to have an every year timeshare. You have an every other year timeshare. I go, oh, man, I guess I can't get it. They're like, well. We do have this one that just became available. It's the same place you have yours right now, and it's every year. Now, the one I had bought, I didn't talk about costs on the last one, but it was $10,000. They're like, this one's $20,000. And all we would need today is a $2,000 down payment. This is basically the timeshare they tried to sell me in August. First one. Right. It's that original timeshare again. Yeah. The $20,000 one with the $2,000 down payment. Which, honestly, for the first time today is when I'm realizing it was the one they tried to sell me in the beginning.
Wow,
they're good.
They kept getting you back.
This is a public service announcement. Yeah. Like, guys, watch out.
So we go through the whole spiel again. They're like, do you want this? I'm like, hey, RCI Platinum sounds really cool. Like, I really respect all the things that they do, but I cannot upgrade this timeshare again. I don't have. First off, I don't have $2,000, and I cannot pay. This one was $350 a month. I'm like, I cannot, or $325, something like that. I'm like, I can't pay $325 a month. I just cannot pay it. I was like, 2014. I think I was a server in a restaurant, and maybe working. No, I think that was it. I was at the post office too.
Are you DJing yet or?
I might have been DJing maybe once a night.
Mailman Paul was my favorite version
Mailman
of Paul.
Oh my gosh, I forgot Mailman
Paul. It's my favorite version of Paul.
That was Mailman part-time.
How long were you Mailman?
Not long.
Little less than a year.
Holy jeez,
it's my favorite version of Paul.
Yeah.
So anyways, she goes through the whole thing. I'm like, yeah, I can't afford it. And then it's a different lady, by the way. I don't know I'm saying she, but it's a different person. And she's like, well, have you ever applied for the RCI credit card? And I'm like, you know what? I did. How long ago was it? I did it in September. You can apply again. It's been 3 months since you applied. I'm like, nah, I'm good on that. And she's like, well, you know what? Let me talk to my manager real quick. So she leaves, comes back, and she's like, okay, so this is what we can do. Like, we can drop down the down payment to $1,000. Do you have a checkbook? I go, hey, let me stop you there right now, kiddo.
I know this game.
I was like, not even do I know this game. I was like, I don't even have $1,000, nor can I pay $2,000. And she goes, well, how much do you have? It had been months now, so I had gained up a little more. I was like, I have $540, whatever it was. It was around 5 something, I remember.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what? Give us that, and then write us a post-dated check, and you can tell us how long you need, up to December 31st, which was like 3 weeks away. Yeah. And I was like, can you do that? It's the word can that always gets me. I mean, I can do it, I can. I was like, it's not the best choice for me in life.
Yeah.
Well, long story short, I'm hiding another book bag when I get
Oh.
home. I'm like, Dom, I need you to hide this book bag. My third book bag at this point. And
Was Dom like
in less than 4
laughing
months,
through this,
he'd laugh
or-
every time because
Yeah.
no one knew. He didn't know I would even go to those. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'd go by myself. I'd come home with a book bag, and so I give it to Dom to hide. And this is where I get them. So
Oh yeah.
This
I
is
love
where
how
he
the
gets
story
them.
ends where he gets them.
He gets
so
them.
so
Big quotes on that.
January comes and clearly I can't pay that monthly fee.
Yeah.
And so I default on the loan. So they switch me back to the timeshare, the second timeshare, the $10,000 one. They switch it back, which is the one I still own to this day.
I was gonna ask you, do you still own it?
I do. It's paid
Oh,
off,
yeah.
but I own it.
How long do you own it?
You own those forever.
Oh.
You can pass them down to children.
Yeah, well, I know you could pass DVC down to like in your will and stuff, but
yeah,
like,
these are deeds that you own forever.
No
So,
kidding.
Yeah.
so
I mean, I
so-
don't know if that company's gonna be around.
all right, right. So you paid it off. When did you pay it off?
What is today? November.
No.
What?
Hold on. Today's
Did you just pay it off?
I'm not surprised because it's news
Yeah,
to me
hold
that he
on.
paid it off.
let me look at the calendar real quick. Today's November 19th.
This
I
is
paid it off
ridiculous.
on October.
He paid it off last month.
Yeah, it was about like October 8th, I think it was.
This
He
was
paid
like
it off a month ago, or
This
a
was
month
like-
and a half ago.
yeah, I used my
The-
house sale
the
money to
first-
pay it off.
the Six Flags visit was like 14 years ago.
Oh, so this wouldn't
No, it
be
wasn't
paid
14
off.
years ago. It was wow, it was 8 years ago. 2014.
2014.
Oh, that's right.
But
Well, still 8 years.
here's the thing to remember. So I bought a timeshare. Let me tell you, I bought a timeshare in 2014 for $10,000. In 2022, I owed $9,800 on that timeshare.
Really?
So I sold my house not because of timeshare. I was moving, but I made a big profit because of the change in the market. And I paid off that $9,800.
Good, because you'd been paying that forever.
Yeah, I don't know where the money went. I even had a lawyer look at where I was working last year. I was partnering with a lawyer like at my other job, and I was just kind of like, hey, like I know you're a lawyer. Do you want to just take a look at something for me? And he looked through it and he goes, yeah, I'll get you out of this. Read through it, comes back a week later. He goes, yeah, you're locked in. he goes, they did their due diligence. You ain't getting out of that.
He's reading the thing. He's like, and then like we called him up to the meeting, and he drove 2 hours to us. So the lawyer's like, well, okay, you did this to yourself. You're locked.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah,
I'd like to say this couldn't happen again to me, but you know what? I really think it could. Because if someone called me today and was like, hey, you have to come to, I don't know, like let's say upstate New York for a meeting, like what's something we do nowadays? I don't know. You have to come to upstate New York for your annual Disney annual pass meeting. I'd be like, never heard of that before.
yeah.
And I'd be like, what time?
Yeah. True. But does the timeshare that you now own, where do you own it?
So it's like DVC where you can use it in any of the places.
But you have a home place.
Yeah, my home place is Branson, Missouri.
What a spot. I've always wanted to visit Branson, Missouri.
I never heard of Branson, Missouri.
You know, of all the times, and by all the 3 times I've used the timeshare in the past 8 years, you know where I haven't stayed?
times where
Branson.
Yeah.
I've stayed in the Orlando one.
Yeah.
Nope, that's it. The Orlando one.
Probably to be near Disney,
Yeah,
right?
I've got the 2 times I've gone to Universal.
Yeah.
I've obviously still gone to Disney, but
Yeah.
the 2 times I've gone also to Universal, I stayed there because it's right in between the 2.
Do you have annual dues?
Monthly dues.
Monthly dues?
Yeah.
Can you get out of this?
Yeah, now that I paid it off, I
Oh.
can sell it. Yeah.
But
Dude.
you don't want to?
No, I probably will.
Dude,
But
you should
it's
sell
my
it.
even. I have a week coming up, so I'm gonna use that, and then I'm gonna sell it.
Dude, man, if you want anything, just because I know you, get DVC.
Yeah, and for me, DVC, because I said I'm gonna move to Florida, and
Oh, yeah.
you never
said-
know. I may not move to Florida, but that's the goal. There's a few places I've looked at.
Yeah.
None of them are in the north, but mostly the goals like around the Orlando area, like Davenport. For anyone who's down there, I really like Davenport. Apopka's really nice, but DVC, I would utilize it for stuff like Disneyland Paris. Like you can use it for all those locations.
Yeah, it cruises.
Cruises. It's not great on the cruises. I looked
No?
it up because we had the DVC when we did our cruise, And I remember it was more worth it just to pay for the cruise and use the points on a separate trip.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And I agree.
You can use it on the cruise.
Use,
it's just more worth it to use.
I wouldn't use my points on a cruise. I use them on the stay because you get the deluxe resorts. But I think I would 100% keep DVC if I moved to Florida because you could do those weekend getaways and stuff.
Well, yeah, and are there dues with DVC?
There is, and that's why I was asking.
Is it monthly
I asked
or
if it was
annual?
a year. It's up to you. So it's annual. Every January or whatever, it's due, but you can opt to do monthly.
Well, how much is it for the year?
I don't know because I do it monthly.
How much do you pay a month?
It's like $50 or $40.
Okay, that's the same as I pay. You
$48.
had like this wild reaction.
Well, no,
when I said
because
a monthly dues.
I didn't know. I thought that you had like a monthly due where I have an annual due that I decided to do monthly. For some reason,
No, it's the same option. I think you can pay it annually, and it's honestly, I think it's cheaper annually.
Yeah, I'd probably.
I'm just like, pay it monthly.
Yeah. I do it monthly, and it's like $48 or something.
Yeah, I think mine's actually like 65 or something.
Man, dude, and it's a Branson, Missouri.
Well, and they've gotten rid of. They used to like honestly in the beginning there was a lot cooler stuff. So in the beginning, and now I've used the timeshares more than just I've used my weeks that I get. Like I've lost a lot of those. But in the beginning, they had this thing called bonus time, which they still have, but it's different. But for the first like 4 years, maybe longer, I think it's the past 3 years they've changed it. You could stay somewhere Sunday to Wednesday night. Yeah. Sunday night, Tuesday night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night for free. All year round. Any day of the year.
Really?
You could do up to 3 nights. You can't do 4. You could do 3, stay in a Marriott, and then do another 3 nights if you want, which is actually what I've done in Florida before.
Pass.
Wow.
But you could do 3 nights. And then the weekend, it was Sunday to Thursday. And then it was Friday and Saturday. So 2 nights a week was $50 or I want to say it was $50. Then they changed it so that there was no more free nights. Now it's still a decent deal, but it's $25 a night. I think nowadays, Sunday to Thursday, and then $50. Maybe it's 70. Maybe it's like 50 and 75. I don't know what it is, but either way, you pay now for Sunday to Thursday. So I used to take trips all the time to like the New Hampshire. We went up to Mass. I think it was with Courtney and Josh or whoever. But that time we did it was bonus time. So we went up for free. I'm like, oh guys, why don't we just book a few nights up here or get it for free? But yeah, so that was a decent deal, but they don't have that anymore.
Man, I would get rid of that. It must feel good to have it paid off, though.
It does feel good. I'm just gonna sell it to some sucker. I know the tricks now to how to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey,
I'm gonna sell it for $20K.
You're due for a meeting.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start cold calling people and see if I find someone who has one. And be like, hey, you're due for a member meeting.
Then be like, I'll put you up, give you some chili, do some trivia.
Great place you can do some trivia.
It cost me $200 for the night, but I'll gain $20K.
What a doozy of a story.
It's a doozy of a story, and that deserves to be remade into a whole little short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love it. So
it makes me so happy. It's one of those stories. It's in my top 5 favorite stories ever.
Andrew's heard it more than anyone. For
I've
sure.
heard it more than
I'm filmed on your phone saying it.
Yeah. I have him. I filmed him.
Yeah, now it's
filmed forever. Now it's immortalized.
Now it's on YouTube.
It's immortalized now.
It makes me happier.
This is your legacy.
Than I've ever been.
Than you've ever been.
Yeah.
This is your legacy.
Yeah. My legacy.
Yeah. Are you proud?
I mean, I'm proud that I've paid it off.
Not the answer I was expecting.
He's like, I'm proud that I got them in the end.
I'm proud that I got them with that last default for sure.
That last default.
The way it should have ended, because I think the way your video ended was, what you're like in a hot tub and you're like, well, if you can't beat them, join them, kind of thing, or whatever.
Yeah, the video I did for my college was we had a hot tub in my house anyway, so I took a video of my hot tub and I had like a drink in my hand. I'm like, and I figured if I'm gonna be paying monthly for this, I might as well reap the benefits. And I was like sipping on my drink.
Yeah,
which is false.
We're gonna watch it when we're done with this.
Yeah, for sure. Joe Fontaine had suggested another ending where you're in the hot tub, kind of, but it's like almost an in denial thing. It's like, well, you got to enjoy it. Or you're like in the hot tub with somebody else. It's like, how much did it cost? It's like, oh, an arm and a leg. And then you like start crying or something. That's how it ends. Like something like that. Like we can.
Well, yeah, I know. We had to. So it's funny because when you watch it, the beginning shots were so good because that's when we got to work together. It was before COVID. It was all like done in like February of that year.
Right.
And then you can tell when we had to start working separately. I had to film stuff and basically set up tripods in the hotel room I was in because it was during COVID, so I was in a hotel room for work. And I was filming myself trying to tripod things and stuff. And the lighting was always different and all this stuff, and it never matched. Even the last shot is like outside and lighting looks so different. But if you watch those first scenes, I was so incredibly impressed with like and it was all an accident, but like the lighting and the color scheme looked so professional in those first shots. Like I wore that red shirt that matched with like the gray back, like it was like a dark gray. Is this gray? I don't know.
Nope.
What color is this?
Green.
That's purple.
Well, it was like this, but gray. This darkness, but gray. And it was like that with lighter. There's like a lighter wall too, and then it was like me with my red in front of it. Like the colors just looked great on it.
Right.
For what I could see, at least.
Right. Yeah, we'll touch up on that. We should watch it after this, but
yeah, we will.
So thanks for telling the story.
Thank you for opening up, sharing that story with us.
Yeah.
What a story!
Yeah,
what a story.
There's some good DVC merch that's available too. I think it's getting better and better. So if you ever join the club,
yeah, I wonder if I still have that extra hat because you never got that one, right? I have that hat I got on the cruise. It says like it's like that awesome black hat that says like Disney Vacation Club owner. Did you ever get that one?
No.
I think I might have two. I don't know if I still have both. I'll see if I have both or not because it's a great hat. It's one of my favorite hats.
Dude, if you got two, you got an extra one. I'll throw you some.
I'll take a look.
I'll throw you something for it. Yeah.
I don't need something for it. It's an extra hat. I don't wear any of those hats.
Right.
You can have the only reason I won't give you the other one is I love the hat.
Okay.
Speaking of things you have an extra of that you never wear.
Oh, here we go.
Could I have a pair of your Ray-Bans?
No,
you asked him
extra.
in the last episode.
They're not extra. They're two completely different pairs of Ray-Bans. One is monochrome, and they look amazing on me, and the other are normal, and they look amazing on me.
Debatable. But you know what?
You know what I look good in? Ray-Bans. Sunglasses.
Debatable.
Next episode, I'm wearing sunglasses. Well, maybe not because I don't know. Yeah, actually, I have some with me.
Don't assume you'll be back.
You'll.
I get the most views on these videos.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like a spike.
It's like someone just know. It's like YouTube sees my face.
It is weird. It's bothersome. It is what it is.
It's bothersome.
YouTube sees my face and like pushes it out.
We need Dominic here. Get Dominic. Make that happen.
Dominic Alberto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we need him to tell his gambling story.
Dominic De Coco.
Remember his? You know what story I'm talking about?
That's another.
When
great
he's like,
story.
it was
The
like
money dance.
No.
The one where he's like, oh, you could double here. You could.
Oh man,
Dude.
yeah, because he hasn't gambled in forever.
No. Yeah, this was a while ago.
He lost a lot of money.
He lost a lot. And then
He
had to
did
do
the
it.
Josh. He did the Josh.
Yeah.
We'll save Dom's story, but Josh, just for like a precursor, my friend Josh, they all know he was also at the bachelor party. Josh lost. I don't want to get the number wrong. I think it was $8,000 one time. It's the most I've ever heard of someone losing at the casino.
Jeez.
Because he bet like $25, and then he was betting on roulette, and every time it went opposite, he had to keep doubling the bet, and it never hit red, and it went like 27 times in a row black, and it got to 8,000. He's like, I don't have 16,000 to double, and then I remember he told me he like was driving home and he like called his mom. I was like, Mom, I need to borrow $8,000.
My gosh.
Yeah,
That's crazy. I didn't even know that story.
make sure you make that the clip, and I'll send it to Josh.
Yeah. Yeah, do it.
Okay.
Do it. All right. Well, this has been fun. It's been wonderful. I'm glad we have that story immortalized now. We need to get Dom here.
Gotta get Dom here.
What do you
Gotta
say?
tell another great story. It's in my top 5 favorite stories as well. And you know what I'll say to that, gentlemen?
What's that?
I'll cheers to that.
I'll cheers to it too.
Well, you know what we gotta do real quick. We got before we sign off. I'm cutting you off, man. I'm cutting you off. When I'm here,
every ending.
you know you don't follow the rules when I'm here.
You got to finish your drink, man.
That's why I'm cutting you off.
Oh, okay.
So what we gotta do is we're gonna talk about. We'll give him a little precursor. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about Christmas movies specifically. Should I tell him specifically what? It doesn't matter, right? Specifically the Santa Claus trilogy.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna bring Josh on, and we're gonna talk. I don't know if it's then. Both of them are gonna happen at some point.
Yeah.
Christmas movies, and which Josh might be on for too, and then we're gonna talk about the guy trip, or they might be together in the same video.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'd like to do 2 separate videos. One talking about the movies, and then one.
The guy trip is a lot, so
Guy
it could be long.
Yeah.
I
mean, you don't have to finish it.
Yeah,
It's cool.
there's a lot.
We don't always have to do that shtick either.
I know. Well, you
Andrew's
don't.
done.
You've never done it once when I've been on the pod.
All right, let's.
It's
cheers.
messed up every time, so might as well keep that trend going.
Let's cheers.
He took his.
You've
headphone-
already messed up.
His headphones are off.
I'm out.
He's not. I'm not.
Cheers.
Cheers.